What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good day. There's a lot that we need to talk about, so let's do this. Y'all, this weekend there was just so much going on that I don't even know what to say about all of this. Some was good, some was bad, some was horrifying, and so much more that I just don't know. Because the first thing I want to talk about is for many years, David and Louise Turpin abused 12 of their 13 children for many years. They starved them to death. They hid them. They deprived them of sleep. Never gave them any furniture. Never let them see the light of day. That is until one of the kids was able to escape from the house, call the police on them, and they were arrested. Now this happened in January, I believe, of 2018, so last year. Now, on Friday, at a hearing at the Riverside County Superior Court, the California couple was sentenced to life in prison. They'll have a chance at parole after 25 years. And they should not have that. And that is from my own standards. I believe they should not have that after what they did to those kids. Now, their daughter, speaking publicly for the first time, she said something, as she said through tears, she says, "Now I am taking my life back." Because again, they were never able to do all these other things. They never got to, some of them never got to go to college, the older ones, some never got to go make friends, anything else like that. It's just unbearable. Now, in February, the Turpins, they pled guilty to at least 14 counts of felony counts, admitting that they have overseen what state authorities later call a house of horrors. Now, like I said, they were deprived of sunlight. They were never fed as much. They didn't get any sleep. They kept getting hit on and everything else along the way. And this was all, like, everybody think this, they only saw certain people. But yeah, these kids were tortured in so many ways from these parents. And in the months that followed after, their arrest and everything, law enforcement's officials uncovered a pattern of startling and violent mistreatment as the children recounted to them as years of emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Now, in the call of the to 911, the 17-year-old who was able to escape said something about her. She said that she didn't take care of us. They only chained us up if we did something wrong. My sisters, they woke up crying. And, this was unbearable. Continuing on with the story, 3 of the children were chained to the beds when the family arrived in Paris, California, or Texas, I can't remember. But it was California, correct. About 60 miles southeast of Los Angeles in that January of 2018. Now, the Turpins were unchaining 2 of their children, an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old, as police stood by the door. That's what Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hurston told reporters after the arrest. Another sibling, a 22-year-old, was chained to the bed when the police arrived. Now, again, this abuse took, many years ago when the family was living in Fort Worth, as prosecutors say, and in 2010 they moved to Merida, California, where authorities said that the abuse got worse, and they relocated to Paris many years later. Now, if you looked inside the house, or if you saw like the pictures of the house inside of that, it was so disgusting on so many levels. I didn't know what to say when I saw those pictures. I kind of wanted to like throw up after seeing that, but again, it was just so unbearable to even see this, And in the court on Friday, both the parents, actually the dad, he said, through his lawyer, he said that he was doing this for good intentions. And, and Louise said that she was sorry for everything I've done to hurt my children. You've done so much to these children that it is going to scar them for life. But with help, they can overcome this. The older kids, they are actually, living on their own. They still talk to their brothers and sisters, and they get the chance to even, go out there and get a job. They get a chance to go out and go to college and everything else on the way. But again, for what they did, that was wrong on so many levels. And I, for one, am glad that they are going to prison for life. They should not deserve parole for what they have done. Seriously, on so many counts, they should not receive parole. Don't you guys think? The second thing I want to talk about is, kids go through so much when they're young and everything else on the way. And hearing about this, it's just really sad. My condolences goes to the family, and it's just so much. This story is about a young lady by the name of Raniya Wright, and she is, she's 10 years old, and she recently had passed away. Now the story goes that she collapsed after a classroom fight, and she died of natural causes, and that there were no criminal charges will be filed as a result of this little classroom fight. Now, this is just weird to even hear about this, because charges are being pressed or anything else in the way. But at the same time, this little girl is 10 years old, and it's just too much. Now, she died in at Charleston Hospital on March 27th, 2 days after, following an alteration with another fifth grade student at the Forest Hills Elementary School in Walterboro, South Carolina. Now, her mother, Ashley Wright, she posted on Facebook that her daughter was being bullied by her attacker and was reportedly returned to school following a brief suspension. That ticks me off just a little bit because of that. Now, Duffy Stone, the solicitor for the 14th Judicial Circuit in South Carolina, told reporters that Raniya died of a previously congenital condition known as AVM. I'm not going to say it correctly, but I'm just going to say the name of it is called AVM. I will put the story of it on it down below. But this condition is a tangling of the arteries and veins that is often not exposed, that's not diagnosed until adulthood. Now, the pressure can cause to be entangled, can lead to a rupture, and if the AVM is located in the brain, the rupture can cause hemorrhaging and death. And this is a lot to bear with, Now, Stone said that the fight did not contribute to her death. There was no evidence of trauma inside the body or, outside the body, that there was no fight going on, but there was no bruises, there was no cuts, no scrapes, no busted lips, no black eyes, nothing. Basically, the tissue was also tested, and there were shows of no trauma or nothing like that. So it was really weird. Now, the mom had a press conference, and following the press conference, she told reporters that she was not aware of any of the birth defects or conditions in her child's case until she was hospitalized. Now, you should as a doctor, if you're a doctor, my bad, I'm not a doctor, but if you're a doctor, you should always tell your if they're a newborn, tell the parents what is going on, everything else on the way. But my thing is, how is all this, going on? How does she not know about this, everything else on the way? Now, you're probably wondering, what's going on with this bullying and everything? Well, basically, a student in the classroom of the time of the attack told the family's investigator that Raniya was, she'd been attacked from behind by another fifth grader who punched her several times in the head and pushed her into a file cabinet and to a bookshelf. And still, yet, she had no bruises, nothing on her, and everything else on the way. There is so much to deal with on, kids getting bullied because we don't know what's going on at their homes. But at the same time, it'll be great if, you see some child getting bullied, take a stand and say something. If you're a young kid, go out there, tell an adult, tell your teacher, tell the principal, tell somebody that you're seeing this happen. If you are yourself adult and you see somebody getting bullied, you go in there, you step forward yourself. There's so much that we have to bear with in this world, and it's just, we have a limited time on this earth, you know, and to even hear about this is just unbearable. You know, I have my little cousins. I always will be there for them if they ever need anything. And you know, when you work with kids, you know, you're like, you're like a guardian or superhero to those kids and everything on the way, and you're gonna be there for those kids. So hearing about this, it's just a lot to take in, you know, and it's unbearable on so many levels. But again, what do you guys think about this? Like, seriously, what is going on with this? This whole story is just weird in so many levels. The last thing we'll talk about is, Easter is supposed to be a wonderful holiday. You know, we celebrate Jesus Christ being rose up on the third day, and you know, he wasn't in the tomb. We're thankful for his grace and everything else along the way. You celebrate with your family or your friends. You know, go Easter egg hunting, all that kind of things, and everything else along the way. This Easter, however, it's sad because of what has happened in Sri Lanka. On Easter, more than 200 people were killed and at least 450 others were injured in 8 coordinated attacks on churches and hotels in Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday. The death toll continues to rise with at least 207 people dead, according to the police. Now, the attack marks some of the worst violence the country has ever seen since its civil war ended over a decade ago. Police have imposed a 12-hour curfew that began at 6 p.m. local time. Now, officials have said flights will continue throughout that, albeit they will have extra security checks just to be on the safe side and everything else in the way. Now, Sri Lanka's Prime Minister, Raniya Wright, I'm going to say his name incorrectly, but it's Rexmil. I'm not sure if I said it correctly. He released a statement saying that condemning these people are cowardly attacks on our people, and asked that all Sri Lankans during this time of tragic remain united and strong. Now, according to the news and everything else along the way, here's what we know so far. Around 8:45 a.m. local time, a series of blasts ranged out of 3 churches where Easter Mass was taking place, said by the New York Times. One attacked the church, the St. Anthony Shrine, in Sri Lanka's capital of Colombo. A church 20 miles north of that, South Sebastian's Church in Negombo, was attacked as well, as was Zion Church in the eastern city of Batikola. Again, I do apologize on saying these names incorrectly. You know, learning on names and everything along the way. But continuing on with this, it's just unbearable. And according to CNN News, 2 other locations were hit by bombs. The Walla Zoo and the Walla Mount Levian, a house in Damatogoda, and other places. Now, bombings have occurred in 5 other locations, also 3 of them including the Colombo hotels, the Cinnamon Grand, the Shangri-La Hotel, and the Kingsborough Hotel. Now, one witness who was at the Shangri-La said that in a Facebook post, the bomb blast came from Table 1 restaurant at the 3rd floor, the main restaurant of the Shangri-La Hotel, Columbine, where people, were apparently having their Easter breakfast, felt the blast to the 17th floor, while we were sleeping. A few minutes later, we were asked to evacuate the hotel. While running down the stairs, we saw a ton of blood on the floor, but they were still clueless as to what has happened. And along with that, at least 30 foreigners have been killed, according to the Sri Lankan Minister of Economic Reforms and Public Distribution, Harsha Da Silva. This includes 3 British citizens, 2 with dual US-UK citizenship, 2 Turkish citizens, 3 Chinese citizens, 3 Indian citizens, 1 Portuguese citizen, and 1 Dutch national. Now, all these foreigners were killed in the attack. Now, when this happened, many of our leaders, they sent their support in any ways they can, through Twitter, through like Facebook, trying to get out there if they can't see everything else on the way. Again, we should not be doing this. This is supposed to be a joyous holiday, yet somebody wants to screw this over for everyone in the entire world. All those families, it's just so much just gone in an instance, because people want to bring down this earth, bring down the world in their own way possible, with all these killings, all this racism, all this hatred going on in our world. It's really too freaking much. And I don't know, again, these stories, just hearing about this entire weekend, it's a lot to bear with, and you have no idea what my mind thought process is going through all this. There's a lot bouncing around and everything else on the way. But with that being said, what do you guys' thoughts about this? What do you guys think about the Turpin case? What do you guys think about Raniya Wright? What do you guys think about what's going on in Sri Lanka? If you are in Sri Lanka or somewhere near the area, please, let me know what is going on, if you're safe out there and everything else on the way. But yes, again, you guys, we should not be doing this in our world. We should be uniting as one, being good to each other and everything else on the way. With that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I love you guys. Peace out.